Good evening. I want to talk to you today about how to sound more confident on the phone. Now, in order to do this, three things need to happen. The first thing that needs to happen is you need to know your products inside and out. The second thing that needs to happen is you need to be distraction free. The third thing that needs to happen is you need to use templates to be able to sound more confident while you're on the phone. Allow me to explain. Now, on the very first one here, know your products. It's very imperative to make sure that you know your products and services inside and out, because if somebody calls in, let's just say you own a computer company, and if a customer calls in and they're inquiring about the Intel processor, but you don't have any more Intel processors in stock, but you have the M1 processor in stock, if you don't know your products and services, then you could actually let a sale pass by, and then that makes you not sound confident. Because if the customer is like, okay, Tony, so you don't have the Intel in stock, what do you have in stock? Computers? No, that doesn't make you sound confident. That makes you sound like a clown, and you don't want to sound like a clown to customers, because customers are really hard to come by. So you always want to try your absolute best to make sure that you sound confident. And the first thing to sound confident when you're on the phone with the customer is to make sure you know your products and services inside and out. Now, let's just say if you work for the company, let's just say you're not the business owner, but you're employed with the company, then maybe reach out to upper management or something like that and ask if they have any kind of resources or any kind of catalogs that you can perhaps take home and study in your spare time and stuff like that, to make sure that you know your products and services that you're selling or that you're distributing out. So that's going to be key to sounding confident on the phone, is again to make sure you know your products and services like the back of your hand. Because think about it, you want to be able to be in position to be where if a customer sees you out, let's just say in the real world, they see you out at Kohl's or something shopping, and they're like, oh hey Tony, yeah man, do you got the new computer in stock? And if you sit there and be like, I don't know, the customer is going to be like, hold on now. Do you actually know what you have in stock? Do you know what's going on in your business, Tony? So imagine if Tony replied back and was like, yeah, Chris, we actually do. We have 15 of the M1s in stock. So I open up at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Do you want me to have one at the front register waiting on you, Chris? Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Go ahead and have me one up at the register, Tony. Because of that confidence. But now if Tony would have been like, I don't know if we have that in stock. I'm going to have to wait till I get back to the store to check. Because again, that makes you seem like you don't really know what's happening in your business. And that's going to be key to sounding confident on the phone. Now, that also makes you sound confident out in the real world also. But definitely on the phone. Again, when people call in, you want to be 2 steps ahead of your customer who is calling in. Because if you're not 2 steps ahead, you're not going to sound confident, because you're going to be kind of fumbling for the words, and you're going to be kind of thinking oh shit, what am I supposed to do? Now, that's going to be step 1 to sounding more confident on the telephone. Now, step 2 to sounding more confident on the telephone is going to be to have zero distractions. Please don't have your phone out, or please don't be, doing anything playing Sonic or watching The Walking Dead or anything like that, Game of Thrones or anything like that to distract you. Even things that are completely 100% work related, things like Messenger, Slack, things like that, again, that's 100% work related, can also pose as a huge distraction for you too. Because imagine if a person is calling in, and again, we stay with the same example, you own a computer company, and a customer calls in, and then you're sitting back on the phone or whatnot and everything, looking. The customer calls in, you're on the phone, and then you're sitting back looking at, let's just say, Game of Thrones or whatnot. Not picking on Game of Thrones, but that's the first thing on the top of my brain. So you're sitting back looking at Game of Thrones or whatnot, you're on the phone, and then the customer's calling in, and then you're like, oh shit, he cut his throat, oh shit. And then you just missed every single thing that the customer was saying to you in your headset, because you were distracted by your cell phone or your iPad or something like that. Now, imagine if the customer asked you to repeat back what they said, or because the customers know when you're not actually paying attention. But guess what would you do if the customer was like, oh, hey, Tony, yeah, can you repeat back what I said? you're going to be looking silly, you're going to be looking stupid. And you don't want that. You always want to make sure you're paying attention, because the most important thing in the transaction is to make sure you actively listen to the customer. Because if you actively listen to the customer, that's going to set you apart from a lot of other people and a lot of other businesses also. So again, please make sure that you are completely 100% distraction free whenever you are on the telephone with the customer, if you want to sound confident. Now, the last thing is going to be to use templates or whatnot if you want to sound more confident on the phone. Now, here's what I'm saying. Now, you own a computer company. You do like a lot of emailing and stuff like that back and forth. So if you're on the phone with a customer, and then instead of like thinking about what to reply back in the email before that minute and 30-second timer cuts off, before the next call, maybe comes in, instead of thinking like, okay, what am I going to say? Because you need to make sure you devote all of your attention to your customer. So instead of thinking what you're going to say, already be having templates pre-made up on quick responders for emails and things like that. So for example, let's just say if you, like to say with the computer company, if you do like a lot of, let's say like returns and stuff like that. So if you or your agents or whatnot do a lot of returns, then make a little template sheet that they can use and implement inside the emails. So that way it'll make things a whole lot smoother. So that way you and your agent can just focus on taking care of the customer. Now, at the bottom of the video on this one here, I am going to leave a link to some autoresponders that I created. So I will leave a link down below in this video. But again, you always want to make sure that you use templates in situations like this, because templates are going to make it really easy for you to communicate and to have a correspondence with the customer, because it's really good to always have some kind of like email correspondence or something with the customer, especially whenever y'all depart ways out the phone, just so they can have that, just that sense of security that you actually have like, taking really good care of them. Now, so with the templates, what that's going to do, again, that's going to make sure that you absolutely stay focused and on point and on par with what the customer is saying. And then all you have to do is when you are waiting, like in your call status to send the customer the email, all you have to do is just take the template, paste it in, fill in the names and stuff like that, and then boom. So your customer gets a proper email correspondence, and the customer was able to be heard and was able to get a proper resolution on why they called in to the computer company. So that's what I'm saying. So if you do these three things right here, I guarantee you that you're going to sound more confident in your tone of voice when you're on the telephone dealing with customers. That about wraps it up for today's video. Until next time, I'll see you later.